One economy, three realities. Imagine three people living in the same city. They wake up in the same morning. They see the same news. They shop at the same supermarkets. They pay the same prices for food, fuel, and rent. They live under the same government. Yet their financial lives are completely different. One person worries about surviving the month. One person worries about bills, debt, and security. One person barely worries at all because their money keeps growing. How is that possible? How can the same economy create such different outcomes? Most people think the answer is hard work. Some believe it is education. Others say it is luck. But none of these explain what we see. The real answer is something much deeper. It is the invisible rules. Rules that decide who moves forward and who slowly falls behind. Rules that are not written in textbooks. Rules that are not discussed on the news. Rules that most people never realize even exist. Today, we are going to reveal them. The biggest lie about the economy from childhood. We are taught a simple story. Work hard. Get educated. Save money. Be responsible. And you will succeed. It sounds fair. It sounds logical. It sounds honest. But it hides a dangerous truth. The economy is not one system. It is three systems running at the same time. One for the poor. One for the middle class. One for the rich. From the outside, it looks like everyone is playing the same game. But inside, each group follows different rules. And when the rules are different, the results are different. You can work twice as hard in the wrong game and still lose. That is what is happening to millions of people right now. Why prices feel the same, but the pain is different when inflation hits. Everyone sees the same numbers. Gas prices rise. Food prices rise. Rent goes up. Electricity becomes more expensive. On paper, it looks like everyone is affected equally. But in real life, that is not true. For one person, higher prices mean discomfort. For another, they mean stress. For another, they mean opportunity. This is the first invisible rule. The same economic change does not affect everyone the same way, because people do not enter the economy with the same position. Some enter with nothing. Some enter with stability. Some enter with ownership. And ownership changes everything. The three economic identities. To understand this, we need to look at the three groups, not by how much they earn, but by how they make money. The poor make money from labor. They sell time for money. If they stop working, income stops. The middle class make money from salaries. They earn regularly, but depend heavily on jobs and debt. The rich make money from ownership. They own things that produce income, even when they do nothing. This difference may look small, but it creates completely different lives. The poor. When every dollar is already spent for the poor, money is about survival. Almost every dollar they earn is already promised to something. Rent, food, transport, electricity, phone, medical. There is no extra, no margin, no safety. So when prices rise, something breaks. If food becomes more expensive, heatless. If rent rises, they move farther away. If fuel rises, they walk or quit jobs. Inflation for the poor is not a statistic. It is pain. And when emergencies happen, and they always do, there is no savings. So they borrow credit cards, payday loans, high-interest financing. This kind of debt does not help them grow. It only keeps them alive for one more month. And because interest grows, the debt grows faster than their income. So even when they work harder, they fall further behind. Not because they are lazy, but because the rules are against them. The middle class, always one step from trouble. The middle class looks comfortable. They have homes, cars, jobs, degrees. But behind that image is a dangerous truth. Their lives are built on monthly payments. Mortgage, car loan, student debt, insurance, taxes, everything depends on their paycheck. If the job disappears, everything collapses. They do not own much that produces money. They mostly own things that require money. Their house looks like wealth, but it is debt. Their car looks like success, but it loses value. Their education looks powerful, but it must be paid for. They are not poor, but they are fragile. When inflation rises, their expenses rise. But their salary usually does not. So every year, they work harder for less real value. This is why the middle class feels squeezed. They are running fast, but not getting ahead. The rich, playing a different game. The rich do not live in the same economy. They do not depend on jobs. They depend on assets, businesses, stocks, real estate, intellectual property. These things produce money without their time. Now here is the key. When inflation rises, asset prices rise, homes become more expensive, stocks go up, businesses raise prices. So while workers feel pressure, owners feel opportunity. This is not luck. It is design. What you should understand right now, the poor, the middle class, and the rich are not in the same economic system. They are in the same country, but not the same game. They follow different rules. And those rules decide everything. The invisible rules expose the moment you don't see every single day. Millions of people wake up and enter the economy. They go to work. They earn money. They spend Italiano. They save a little. They pay taxes. On the surface, everyone is doing the same thing. But underneath that surface, something very different is happening. Money is quietly moving. Not randomly, not fairly. It is flowing in one direction upward, from those who don't own to those who do. This is the first invisible rule. The economy is a machine designed to move money toward ownership. If you own assets, money moves to you. If you only sell your time, money moves away from you. You can't see this on your paycheck, but you can see it in the results. Rule number 1, ownership beats labor. Let's imagine 2 people. One works 8 hours a day and earns a salary. The other owns a small business or some shares in a company. The worker must keep showing up to get paid. The owner does not. The company sells products. The owner gets a share of the profits, even if they are on vacation. This is the difference between labor income and asset income. Labor income stops when you stop. Asset income continues. The system is built to reward the second one. This is why the rich focus on owning things, not doing things. Rule number 2, inflation is not your enemy. If you own, most people think inflation hurts everyone. That is not true. Inflation hurts cash, but it rewards assets. When prices rise, houses become more expensive, stocks go up, businesses raise prices. So if you own these things, your wealth grows. If you only own cash and a paycheck, your buying power shrinks. This is why the rich often welcome inflation. They do not hold money. They hold things that grow when money loses value. This is a hidden advantage. Rule number 3, DBT, is a tool, not a trap for the rich. The poor borrow to survive. The rich borrow to invest. That difference changes everything. When the poor borrow, they buy food, rent, or emergencies. Those things do not produce income, so debt becomes heavier. When the rich borrow, they buy assets. Those assets produce income. That income pays the loan, so debt becomes a lever that lifts them higher. Same word, debt. Completely different outcome, because of the invisible rules. Rule number 4. The tax system is not neutral. Workers earn money. That money is taxed. Investors make money. That money is treated differently. Capital gains, depreciation, business deductions. The system legally allows those who own to pay less, not because of corruption, but because the rules were written for investment. The middle class and poor pay the most. The rich pay the least, legally. Why? The game feels unfair. You may feel something is wrong. You may work harder every year, yet feel further behind. That feeling is not imagination. It is mathematics. Wages grow slowly. Assets grow fast. Debt grows fast. Savings lose value. If you do not own assets, the system slowly pulls you backward. If you do, it pushes you forward. The silent wealth transfer. Every time prices rise, something invisible happens. People with cash lose. People with assets win. Every time you pay interest, something invisible happens. Your money moves to someone who owns the bank. Every time you pay rent, something invisible happens. Your money moves to someone who owns property. This is not evil. This is how ownership works, and it explains why wealth concentrates, why most people never escape schools, teach people how to be workers. Jobs teach people how to earn salaries. No one teaches people how to own, so most people stay in the labor game. And the labor game has a ceiling. Ownership does not. What this means for you, you don't have to be rich to understand the rules. But you must understand the rules to stop losing. Why some escape, and most never do. The shrinking middle across the world. Something strange is happening. The middle class is disappearing. People are not slowly climbing upward anymore. They are sliding downward. Homes are more expensive. Education costs more. Healthcare costs more. Debt is heavier, yet wages are barely moving. This creates a dangerous gap. A small group is rising. A large group is falling, and the space in the middle is collapsing. This is not accidental. It is the result of the invisible rules we just revealed. Technology is not saving workers. Every generation is told that technology will make life easier, and in some ways, it does. But it also removes the need for human labor. Machines do not need salaries. Software does not take breaks. AI does not ask for raises. So while productivity explodes, jobs disappear, and the money created by technology flows to the owners of technology, not to the workers replaced by it. This is another invisible transfer of wealth. Why? The poor stay poor. The poor are not poor because they are weak. They are poor because their entire economic environment is designed for survival, not growth. They cannot invest because they have nothing left. They cannot take risks because one mistake can destroy them. They cannot think long-term because today is already difficult. This is not a mindset problem. It is a position problem. When you are underwater, you cannot swim to the horizon. You are trying to breathe. Why? The middle class feels broken. The middle class is the most emotionally exhausted group. They did everything right. They studied. They worked. They saved. They bought homes. Yet they feel stuck. Why? Because their wealth is trapped in things that do not grow. A house does not create income. A car does not create wealth. A job does not scale. So while they look successful, they are standing still. Meanwhile, owners are moving forward. Why the rich keep winning? The rich are not smarter. They are positioned differently. They start with assets. They inherit ownership. They get access to capital. And because of this, they can play a game with no ceiling. Every investment gives them more power to invest again. This creates momentum. Money makes money. This is the most powerful force in the economy. The one real difference. At the deepest level, there is only one real difference between economic classes. Who owns what? Not how hard you work, not how many hours you spend, not how loyal you are. Ownership decides everything. It decides who benefits from inflation, who profits from growth, who pays the most tax, who has financial security. This is the invisible rule behind all the others. The truth about financial freedom does not mean having a high salary. It means not needing one. It means owning things that produce income without your time. That is the only escape from the labor trap. Why nitrogen monoxide 1 teaches this? Because the system needs workers. It needs people to show up, to produce, to consume, to pay. If everyone tried to become an owner, the machine would stop. So the rules stay hidden. The moment you see the rules, the moment you understand this, something changes. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you are failing. You realize you are playing a rigged game. And when you see the game, you can choose to play differently. Final mensaje. The poor, the middle class, and the rich do not live in different countries. They live in different economic realities. They follow different rules. And those rules decide their future. The invisible rules. This is the invisible rules, where we reveal what the world never explains. Subscribe if you want to understand the system that shapes your life, because once you see the rules, you can never unsee them.